I'm super excited about today's topic. We're diving into the world of one of the most iconic video games of all time, Donkey Kong Country. Remember that one?
Oh, absolutely. It's a classic. I mean, who could forget the journey of Donkey Kong and his nephew Diddy Kong as they set out to recover their stolen banana hoard? It's one of those games that's just etched into gaming history.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is how Donkey Kong Country redefined the gaming landscape back in 1994. It wasn't just another platform game. It brought something revolutionary to the table with its graphics and gameplay.
Absolutely. The pre-rendered graphics were groundbreaking. Rare, the developers, used Silicon graphics workstations to create 3D models, which was unheard of at the time for home consoles. It was a massive leap forward.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Nintendo sought out Rare to revive Donkey Kong, especially since Donkey Kong hadn't been a high-profile character for a while. Do you think the revamp paid off?
Oh, for sure. It was incredibly successful. The game sold over 9 million copies worldwide, making it the third best-selling SNES game. It really helped cement Nintendo's position during the 90s console wars.
I can only imagine being a developer at Rare back then. They must have felt the pressure working on something that was supposed to go toe-to-toe with Sega's hits. How did they handle it?
Well, it was quite the challenge. They worked long hours, driven by a mix of ambition and the desire to push the SNES hardware to its limits. Rare's use of those expensive SGI workstations was a huge risk, but it clearly paid off.
And did Nintendo have much of a hand in this? Or was it more of a hands-off approach on their part?
From what I've learned, Nintendo was surprisingly hands-off, given their usual approach to their IPs. They let Rare take the reins, though Shigeru Miyamoto did offer some valuable design input.
I bet that music had a role in its success. I remember the tracks being so atmospheric and adding to the immersive experience.
Totally. David Wise, the primary composer, crafted a soundtrack that still holds a special place in many gamers' hearts. It was impressive, especially given the limitations of the SNES's audio capabilities.
So, would you say Donkey Kong Country's legacy still holds up today?
Absolutely. It not only revitalized the Donkey Kong series, but also influenced an entire generation of platformers. Even now, it's looked back on as one of the greatest video games, which is a testament to its enduring appeal.
It's amazing to see how one game can shape a genre and keep influencing developers even today. I bet the nostalgia factor keeps new players coming back to it as well.
Definitely. And it's been ported to various platforms, reaching new audiences. Plus, Retro Studios' revivals like Donkey Kong Country Returns show that the franchise still has a lot of life.
It's also interesting how Rare went on to develop other beloved titles after this. Their work on DKC set them up for future successes like Banjo-Kazooie and GoldenEye 7. Talk about setting a standard.
Right? Rare truly became a powerhouse after DKC. It's impressive how they took a relatively dormant franchise and turned it into something iconic. Their influence on gaming is undeniable.
Well, it's time to wrap up, but I'm glad we got to chat about Donkey Kong Country today. It's fascinating how a single game can have such a lasting impact.
Absolutely. It just goes to show the power of innovation and creativity in video game development. Thanks for having this conversation with me.